Good to go. So I'm going to call the State Finance Council to order. Jay Anderson, could you please call the roll?
President Masterson.
Here.
Senator Blasey. Senator Blasey. Oh, I can see you moving. I can't. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Can't hear him though, so he might have to get his mic looked at. Senator Sykes.
Here.
Senator Billinger. Speaker Hawkins.
Here.
Representative Croft.
Here.
Representative Wooder.
Here.
Representative Waymaster.
Here.
And Governor Kelly.
I'm here. Did Senator Blasey come on?
He is on, but we can't hear him at the moment.
Okay. All righty. So I now need somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting.
So moved. Second.
I believe that was Speaker Hawkins moved, Senate President Masterson second. Everybody in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's done. All right, so the first item on the agenda today is the request of the Department for Children and Families to release $10 million to cover increased caseloads. Adam, I don't see you, but I believe you're there, and you're going to provide a brief overview, answer any questions people might have. Director Profit, please go ahead.
Thank you, Governor. I am here, and I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me okay. I think we can, and it looks like Senator Blasey's moved into the president's office, so we're good there. So Section 154 of Senate Bill 125, which was this year's budget bill, appropriated $10 million from the State General Fund to the State Finance Council to be used in the event that any of the Human Services caseload agencies were short SGF in fiscal 25. Since there was no omnibus bill this year, therefore there was no GPA to occur after caseloads happened. So the caseload group did get together on April 8th of 2025. The caseload group includes representatives from each of the impacted agencies, plus legislative research and division of the budget. And as we worked through it, we identified that the Department for Children and Families is going to be $10 million short of SGF to finish out their fiscal 25 operations. I've submitted my certification to the Finance Council. This should be in your packets. I've also consulted with Shirley Morrow, the Director of Legislative Research, and she's in agreement that DCF is in need of $10 million to finish out fiscal 25. So, Governor, that is my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any question?
I got a quick one.
Okay, go ahead.
So is it that group got together and identified exactly $10 million? That just kind of struck me. It wasn't more than that or less than that. The need is exactly what we appropriated.
Yeah, if I may, Governor, thank you for the question, Mr. President. The number was very close to $10 million SGF. I think the original estimate was within $100,000 one way or the other. I can't remember which. The decision was made to call it $10 million. We probably could have shaved $50,000, but to make sure they got through the fiscal year instead of trying to be down to the dollar, wanted to make sure that it came in at $10 million. I will also note that the way the caseload process works, we'll reconvene in the fall, and any money that is dedicated towards caseloads for the current fiscal year that is not used will be lapsed during the fall caseload meeting. So we'll have a full accounting for the money that was actually spent during fiscal 25. Anything that wasn't will be given back to the SGF.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Okay, Speaker Hawkins moves
Second.
and President Masterson seconds. I now need a roll call vote. Jay Anderson, are you there for a roll call vote?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was calling it while I was muted. President Masterson,
Aye.
Senator Blasey,
Aye.
Senator Sykes, Senator Sykes,
Senator, are you muted?
it would appear so. Would you like me to just return to her?
Please.
Okay. Senator Billinger,
Aye.
Speaker Hawkins,
Aye.
Representative Croft,
Aye.
Representative Woodard,
Aye.
Representative Waymaster,
Aye.
and Governor Kelly.
Aye.
Senator Sykes,
Governor, this is Secretary Profit. I'm texting with Senator Sykes right now. She says she's having internet issues. She would vote yes if she were able to, but I don't know that that counts officially.
So she can't get video either and just put a thumbs up?
She's trying to get in through her phone. If we can give her just one moment.
We can.
Jay, what was the vote count thus far?
it is 8 votes for yes, 0 for no.
Why don't we just go forward with that?
All right. The resolution passes with a vote of 8-0.
Okay. Okay, next, we need to address the request of the Department for Children and Families to release summer EBT program expenses. I believe Secretary Howard, you are there, and could you provide a brief overview and answer any questions people might have?
I am. Thank you, Governor. Yes, I'm here today to request that the State Finance Council release $1.8 million in administrative funding for the summer EBT program. In section 152 of Senate Bill 125, the legislature appropriated $1.8 million to the State Finance Council for the fiscal year 25 costs associated with administration of this summer's EBT program. Again, the appropriation was made to the State Finance Council, and the bill required that the Secretary for DCF certify to the State Finance Council that we had requested a waiver from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to exclude candy and soft drinks from the definition of eligible foods under the SNAP program. That waiver was submitted last week on May 8th. In your packet, you have a copy of that waiver as well as proof of submission in your packet. So therefore, based on the submission of that waiver and certification of that to you, I'm asking for release of the $1.8 million in state general fund so that we can move forward with this summer's EBT program to provide resources for youth once the school season ends.
Very good. Any questions?
I have a question, Governor.
Go ahead, Senator.
So I know that the department originally filed a motion to, requested a waiver originally a few months ago, and then I think within a few days withdrew that waiver. I just wanted verification again for everybody that because we've submitted this waiver, there is no intention to withdraw the waiver.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Senator. And I'll take responsibility for what happened earlier. That was really an administrative error on my staff's part. The legislative process had not ended, and so there was not yet passage of the appropriations bill. There was still a substantive bill pending. So that was just premature. So no, we have submitted the waiver, and we will begin conversations with the USDA about what an implementation plan looks like.
Okay, so there is no intention to withdraw this.
No, there is not.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, I need a motion to approve the DCF resolution regarding EBT program expenses.
So moved.
Was that you, Representative Woodard?
It was.
Okay, I've got a motion. Need a second?
Second.
I got a second from Senate President Masterson. Jay Anderson, could you do a roll call vote for us, please?
President Masterson,
Aye.
Senator Blasey,
Aye.
Senator Sykes, still having issues. Okay, we'll move on. Senator Billinger,
Aye.
Speaker Hawkins,
Aye.
Representative Croft,
Aye.
Representative Woodard,
Aye.
Representative Waymaster,
Aye.
and Governor Kelly.
Aye.
The vote is 8-0.
Okay, very good. All right, so the next item on the agenda is a request of the Attorney General to review the claim judgment in the matter of the wrongful conviction of Anthony Bowers. I believe Robert Hutchinson with the AG's office is going to provide an overview and answer any questions you might have. Robert?
Yes, Governor, thank you. And just to let the council know, as the governor said, this is a matter for review. Statutorily, this isn't subject for approval. This is a compensation payment that has been ordered by a judge, but it's submitted for review for the council before we can actually issue payment. Anthony Bowers was ultimately tried 3 different times on counts of rape, aggravated criminal sodomy, and aggravated indecent liberties with a child. During his first trial, the jury was hung on all 3 counts. When he was retried, he was convicted on all 3 counts and sentenced to consecutive life sentences on each count. On appeal at the Court of Appeals, they overturned his convictions because a witness had testified, providing expert opinions in areas in which he had not been qualified as an expert, and thereby prejudicing the verdicts he'd received. When he was retried, he was acquitted on the rape and aggravated sodomy counts, and the jury was hung on the aggravated indecent liberties. Ultimately, the prosecutor in Jackson County decided not to try the aggravated indecent liberties charge for a 4th time due to consistency issues with the evidence, the age of the evidence, as it was a decade or so past the original offense, as well as complications from the acquittals on the other charges. He filed his petition for compensation under the wrongful conviction statute. And while this office we wrestled with this one for a long time because this isn't the kind of offense for which we like to see compensation paid out. But after careful evaluation, he had only served time on the rape count that he was ultimately acquitted on, and which was under the statute, a determination of innocence by a jury. This office and ultimately the courts reached the determination that he was statutorily entitled to compensation for the time he had served, which was just under 3 years. Judge Watson here in Shawnee County ordered compensation in the amount of $182,650 for the nearly 3 years he was imprisoned, plus attorney's fees of approximately $25,000. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. The court has issued an order already for the compensation and a certificate of innocence related to this matter for Mr. Bowers.
Does anyone have any questions for Robert? Apparently not. So we don't need to take any action, right, Robert? It is done. This is just to inform.
That's correct, Governor. This is satisfying the statutory requirement that the council review the matter, and we can now issue payment pursuant to the court order.
Okay. If I hear no concerns, then thank you very much for your presentation, Robert.
Thank you.
All right, so the final items to be considered today are the requests of the Attorney General for approval of 2 tort claim settlements. Before we hear a motion to go into executive session, Dusty Ralston with Legislative Administrative Services will remind us how this all works via WebEx. Dusty?
Thank you, Governor. I will put all of you into a breakout session titled Executive Session. Once the vote has cleared, you will be in that executive session for however much time you set. When I move you, it should prompt you, would you like to go into this executive session? Go in there. It should automatically pull you out at the end of it for the time you've allotted. You will be muted when you come back, so just make sure if you go to speak afterwards, mute your mic.
Okay, very good. Any questions for Dusty? All right, so if, Robert, are you still there?
Yes, Governor, I'm still here.
So how much time do you think we're going to need?
And I've overestimated this every time. I hope 10 minutes would be sufficient.
Okay, so I need a motion from a member to go into executive session with an estimated time frame. The text of the motion is on page 2 of the materials that you were emailed. Representative Waymaster, would you care to make the motion?
Yes, Governor, I can make the motion. I move that the open meeting of the State Finance Council being held by WebEx be recessed for a closed executive meeting pursuant to KSA 75-4319A for consultation with the members of the staff, the Attorney General, to discuss matters relating to a proposed tort claim settlement under consideration pursuant to KSA 75-6106 under the justification listed in KSA 75-4319B2, because discussion of such matters in an open meeting would waive attorney-client privilege, and that the State Finance Council resume the open meeting being held by WebEx at 11:58 a.m. And this motion, if adopted, be recorded in the minutes and be maintained as a part of the permanent records of the State Finance Council. The State Finance Council will use a WebEx breakout room for the executive session, and the main meeting will have a placeholder message posted notifying attendees that the State Finance Council is an executive session.
All right, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now only the Finance Council members, representatives of the AG's office and the Governor's Council will move into the WebEx breakout room for the executive session to discuss the claims. Robert Hutchinson with the AG's office will present the settlement recommendations. And Dusty, you will let us know when we can begin executive session.
Thank you, Governor. I'm starting it now. You shouldn't hear me after the next 3 seconds.
we're going to make another motion.
Governor, you're on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay, didn't expect it to take that long. Sorry about that. So Representative Waymaster, could you please do the motion to go back into executive session? And
I
now
believe
10 minutes?
I would say I believe I just have to extend the time. I don't need to make the formal motion again. So I would assume that probably another 10 minutes. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I would move that we go back into an executive session, returning at 12:10 p.m.
Okay. All in favor? Or do we do that? Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's go. Dusty, why don't you put us back into executive session?
Yes, Governor.
And so I need a motion to approve the resolution for the proposed settlement in the case of Link versus the state of Kansas. I need a motion. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, Governor.
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, so for the legislators out there, members of the State Finance Council, I need a motion to approve the resolution for the proposed settlement in the case of Link versus the state of Kansas.
I think you're finding nobody wants to make the motion.
All right. Well, we could make the motion and then vote it down if that's what everybody is feeling.
I'll move along. I move the resolution.
All right, so Senator Masterson moves. If I get a second.
Second, Representative Woodard.
Representative Woodard seconds. All right, then we're going to need a roll call vote.
I'll vote with the AG. You can vote now.
President Masterson.
I'm going to go aye.
Senator Blasey.
No.
Senator Sykes.
No.
Senator Billinger.
Senator Billinger, you're muted.
We will return. Speaker Hawkins.
If you want to pass, just say that.
I think Speaker's gone. I think he had his announcement today, so I think he has vacated the meeting.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
correct. Yes, he has.
Thank you. Representative Croft.
Aye.
Representative Woodard.
No.
Representative Waymaster.
No.
Governor Kelly.
No.
The resolution does not pass.
All right, now I need a motion to approve the resolution for the proposed settlement in the case of Shane Watson versus DCF.
So moved.
I'll second it.
I've got a motion from the Senate President and a second from the Senate Majority Leader, Lazy. Need a roll call vote.
President Masterson.
Aye.
Senator Blasey,
Aye.
Senator Sykes,
Aye.
Senator Billinger,
Let's keep going.
Representative Croft,
Aye.
Representative Woodard,
Aye.
Representative Waymaster,
Aye.
Governor Kelly.
Aye.
The resolution passes.
All right. That concludes the May 13th State Finance Council meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Senator
Second.
Sykes, so moved.
Okay, I've got a motion from Senate President Masterson. Take yours, Senator Sykes, as a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
We're adjourned.